Okay, welcome. Good morning, ladies and gents. I'm over here in the Isle of Man, and we're going to be talking today about these Russell Brand allegations. You've probably seen this stuff all over the media. I didn't even know about this. As you know, I don't really follow mainstream media. I only really these days follow the economics data because there's so much to follow that I don't really have time for, all this random stuff. But I was at the shop and I saw every single newspaper. There was 8 newspapers and they all had the same image. It was identical of Russell Brand with almost the same headline. And it was, these allegations. I won't say some of the extreme words here, but every single newspaper had exactly the same picture with almost the exact same story. And I saw that and I thought that is a little bit unusual actually to see that. So I thought, let me look into this a little bit more. It's still let's get into it. Because as you know, I like to look at all sides of every story. And I do believe innocent until proven guilty for everyone. So I know people are going to say, I can't believe you've just said that, Neil. Innocent until proven guilty. Have you seen the allegations? Well, yes, and I've spent probably the last couple of hours now just looking into the whole thing. And I want to just bring up some things that you may not have seen so you can look at it sort of objectively. Firstly, I don't know Russell Brand. I've never communicated with him in my life. He's not a friend of mine. We don't know each other. Okay, I have no bias. I'm not a subscriber of his. I don't watch any of his videos, so I don't know him. So my views today are just based purely on being objective. Okay, so I need to say all that before, because the thing is, in today's modern day, if you say anything that doesn't go along with the mainstream media, you get absolutely destroyed. And I think that's kind of what's happening at the moment here. So obviously I never condone any actions of which he's accused of. Again, I have to get that out of the way. I think it's absolutely terrible, any of these sort of things. And again, this is if it's true. Okay, so we've got to get all of that out of the way. But yeah, you've just got to remember as well that in today's society, it is a case of you are innocent of any allegation until you are proven guilty. Now, the difference between modern day, and this is where modern mainstream media comes in, is that you are guilty by media until you're proven innocent. And what a lot of people don't realize is this, even if it comes out that he's, either way, it doesn't matter which way it comes out, his life is ruined forever from this. He will never fully recover from these allegations. He will never be able to enjoy his life the same way he did before. He'll walk down the street, even if everything comes out, okay, it's not true, whatever. He'll never be able to walk down the street again and have that same sort of life. He will be probably attacked, he'll be spat at, he'll be all sorts of things. Because we've seen this before with a lot of other people who, let's just say it comes out completely innocent. These people have still been attacked in the future, right? Because people say, I don't care, I saw it in the media, right? So you've got to bear all these things in mind. So these things never go away. Now, I want to actually address another thing here, and that is that if you remember what happened with Hugh Edwards, the BBC whiter than white presenter, okay, you remember all of that. What happened with Hugh? Do you remember what the media did? First of all, they sort of like brushed it under the carpet. They didn't want to say anything about it. And then when it all came out that it was true, okay, so this is completely different. You have Russell where it's allegations, he denies it. You have Hugh Edwards where there were allegations and he confirmed it, right? And look at the difference between these things. And, the one with Hugh Edwards as well, that involved a younger person. So it's a lot different as well. So here's the things we've got to establish first and foremost. What did the media, especially the BBC, say when Hugh Edwards' thing came out? They said, and you remember all these heart things that they were doing, be kind. And they were doing all the hashtag be kind. And they said he's obviously got mental health issues. He's obviously got a lot of problems. We need to be kind and supportive. And now he's gone into hospital, and, we need to be kind. We need to send positive thoughts his way and aid his recovery. Hold on. So that was admitted that these things happen. Russell denies that these things have happened. And now you see the difference in the story. Now, the other thing is, and this is crucial, this is the key point I want to get across. There's 4 allegations basically from 4 women, and they've all come out at the exact same time. Now, if you actually look, and I've read into all of these details of these stories, it doesn't say the women went to the police. Okay, so key point number 1. It doesn't say they went to the police. It said that the women spoke to the media. Now, it doesn't say they went to the media. And if you listen to what Russell is saying as well, he's saying that his friends were contacting him, saying that they'd been contacted by all of these reporters. So this, to me, when you look at it, they've contacted, and he thinks it's like hundreds of women have been contacted and friends. It's a case of the media has launched an investigation. It's not that this has just randomly come out. They have actually launched, and again, not taken away from if the allegations are true. Okay, I need to keep repeating that as I go through. But you've got to distinguish here that the media searched for these women. Okay, it didn't just randomly come up and they've come up. They searched for them and then started asking, what happened here. Now, that's the other thing that no one seems to have picked up upon, is that they were searched out and then the story was created. So that's obviously what, if you want to do a hit piece on someone, you look for the worst possible thing ever. Now, what would that be? It would be this kind of assault, right? That is the worst thing possible, or something to do with children. Apart from that, it doesn't really get much worse in today's society. Now, I will say one thing, because I saw, again, I'm going to flip between different sides as I go through. I saw a lot of people saying what I've just said there, that, these women, it's fake and whatever, they didn't go to the police, they've gone to the media. I do agree with what I've seen, in that for some women, they are not going to go to the police. They won't. Why? Well, look at and I pulled up the statistics, by the way. This is official statistics. The prosecution rate is only 1.6% for this kind of assault. Okay, now remember, it was similar with when I got my van stolen, and the police did nothing about it. So if you're a woman and this did happen, a 1.6% prosecution rate, that is absolutely outrageous. And that's not a conviction rate, by the way. The conviction rate is much, much lower. It's a fraction of that. So do you see where I'm going with this? I can understand from both sides of everything going on here, because when I had my van stolen like that, completely different thing, and I get it, the prosecution rate was almost zero, and it was like 0.25% conviction rate. So if women think that these crimes are not going to be investigated or whatever, then I can sort of understand. So I want to bring that side of the story in as well. So I'm not just, looking like I'm biased here, which I'm not. I have no dog in this fight at all. Now, a couple of other things you've got to bear in mind is that Russell used to be on all these media outlets. So I've highlighted it through all these stories. There's loads of stories. And they used to promote all of this behavior. They would laugh about it. You can watch these interviews. They're laughing about Russell. Oh, he did this, he did that. They actually, promoted his behavior, right? When he was that way, they promoted it. And now they're coming out and saying, oh, remember back then? Yeah, well, I know we promoted it back then, but now, looking back, that's wrong. And this is the other thing that is not being... There's also culture as well of a long time ago, things that happened a long time ago which were viewed differently. It's like comedians as well. You look at some things that comedians used to say 15, 20 years ago, they're not appropriate today, right? So the media is flipping this, that what they used to condone, now they're doing the opposite. Also, bear in mind, he went on Tucker Carlson's show, what was it, 6 or 7 weeks ago? And he just let rip. He also went on a talk show and he let rip. He just went for it, talking about COVID and the vax and, industrial complex of weapons and Ukraine and all these other stuff. He just went for it, let rip on it. And with, what's he got, 6.5 million subscribers, it is a lot more than some of these media outlets, a lot more than some of these media outlets. So of course that is going to come up as well. And the other thing I find ironic about the situation is he was always promoted when he was living this crazy life before, right? When he was doing all the things he used to do. But now that he's turned his life, I believe he's married now. I think he's got kids. He talks. I don't watch him, but someone that I know watches him and said, who I was talking to earlier, said, oh, he's turned his life around, things like that. So do you get what I'm saying with this? It doesn't really make sense. I'm not going to talk about the allegations because you've probably already seen them. Yeah, I'm not going to go into these. They're pretty serious. They're really, really serious allegations. You can look these up for yourself. But it said that there was a joint investigation led by, okay, so keyword, led by the Sunday Times, the Times, and Channel 4's dispatches. So they instigated the investigation and searched out people. And it's obvious, guys, it's obvious they're going to find people like what's happened here. Russell used to be crazy into, I remember when I was younger, I used to see some of his movies and I'd see him on TV. He was crazy. So it's obvious these things are going to come out from up to 20 years ago here. But yeah, some of these are really serious allegations, very, very serious. If they're true, then not good at all. It's going to cause a lot of problems here. So he thinks it's a coordinated attack. I would, putting aside whether he's innocent or guilty, I would tend to agree. It is led by these media outlets. What else have we got? Okay, so he was on all the BBC channels, all these BBC Radio 2. He was even on Channel 4, who's leading the investigation. And it said that we were aware of the allegations. And then you go on, you can look at the Wayback Machine. They start changing words in the articles as well. So they'll remove things like, oh, we were aware of, oh, there was a complaint at the time. Well, if there was a complaint at the time, now you're waiting to do it. Okay, some of this stuff that's coming out is absolutely crazy. Other allegations. So after all of this, it's got things like Brand took a female employee with him to meet Jimmy Savile. Red flag there right away, sorry. But, that is... And Jimmy Savile asked that she be naked. What the heck? I'm reading this going, oh my gosh, this is absolutely insane. Some of these things are coming out, which, to be honest, I do believe some of these other allegations that are coming out because he was a crazy guy. Nuts. Now, I want to talk about one other point as well, which is a crucial one, which involves YouTube. Let me just grab it here. Okay, and then something's just breaking that there's another person that's now come out and claimed assault in 2003, so 20 years ago. Now, I want to just bring up the whole YouTube thing. YouTube, they've obviously demonetized his channel now, which for a YouTuber is like the absolute nail in the coffin. If you get demonetized, you're finished pretty much. So what they've done then is that YouTube has suspended his channel from making money for adverts, violating its creator responsibility policy. And they said they're taking this action to protect its users. Okay, let me tell you why this is strange. They've also said the BBC has removed programs, Channel 4's removing programs, all of these outlets are now removing programs. So they've said that He's doing anti-establishment politics. Recently, UFOs to his 6.6 million subscribers, and he's breaching the responsibility policy. Now, here's why it's a bit weird. He's been doing this for a long time, and they haven't taken down his channel or the videos. Do you find this a bit unusual? So what they're doing then is pausing his revenue. So if you go onto his videos, and I haven't done this yet, but I want to have a look to see if there's still adverts on his videos, because remember that happened to me. My ad revenue was paused, but there were still adverts on there. So if they really felt that this was a serious thing, they would have paused his channel or just taken it down temporarily, stopped the videos. So I find this whole thing very, very unusual. I really do. The whole thing is weird, especially as he's, and again, I don't know, Russell. I don't know what the deal is with all of this. People say he's controlled opposition. Other people say I love him. I have no opinion on it. I don't know him. I don't watch his channel. But I do think this whole thing is very weird, and it's strange that it's coming out now as he's got all this sway and influence, and he's going on these other channels, alternative media, and now it's all coming out. I think the whole thing's very unusual. Please drop your comments below as well, because I'd love to know what your thoughts are on all of this. I just wanted to give you my unbiased opinion here. Although people will say, Neil, that was completely biased, all this sort of stuff. I'm giving you an unbiased opinion on not knowing him. I know nothing about him. I'm just reading the newspapers and the online reports and just finding, okay, this is a little bit strange. That's a bit weird there. And that's my approach to this. And yeah, someone's just said massive distraction, Marie George. Yeah, as always, these things are massive distractions. Always, bread and circus. Gosh, all right, let's not start putting crazy stuff in here. This is all, yeah. All right, so that is it for today. I'm going to go into my office now, and I'm going to carry on with today's studio video, which will probably not be as juicy as this one. You see, I make this one in, 17, 18, maybe 20 minutes, and it takes no prep. I'm just thinking off the top of my head. And then my studio video, where I have to set up the studio, get it all done, 8 to 10 hours of work, and that'll probably get nowhere near the amount of views. It's the irony of these things now, isn't it? All right, well, good to speak to you all. Thanks for being on the stream. And I will see you later on with the daily video. All right, bye for now.